This is really happening. We're all the way. I'm in Georgia. I get my peaches down in Georgia.
And I'm still in LA. Still the same.
You're still in LA. Well, LA's beautiful. Here. Ready? Listen to the music.
It's so hard to not abuse animals.
Carnies.
Fuck themselves. Fuck themselves.
They can do what?
Vegan. You know, I only want to hang out with people, so that's cool.
For who?
This is a shadow ball.
Life's just too short to be anything but vegan. Don't you agree?
Yes, I so agree. What are you waiting for, carnies?
What are you waiting for, carnies? You silly
Yes.
carnies.
Ugh, seriously, what are they waiting for?
What are they waiting for? I
Except
hear somebody's ruffling. Is somebody ruffling up against your microphone?
It's my little Faye. It's my
Your little face.
girl
Your
here.
little Faye is ruffling the microphone. How cute.
She's right here, and she's like, I have to hold my cable. I have to hold my wire. I need to change this system. I need to have a Bluetooth headphone. So
Oh,
no
that wouldn't
problem.
work. Except then you have a different problem. You'll have lag.
Yeah. Oh,
It's always the same. You always have a problem no matter what you do. What I do, I plug into the mic so that it goes into the mic and I can hear myself and you. What do you think about that idea?
Does it bother you still? Is it still moving?
No, it doesn't bother me at all. I was just wondering. This is Sunday. This is the casual Sunday. Have you ever stayed in a hotel in America, Miss Fannulous?
I have, and there were bed bugs.
No. Where did you stay?
It was in San Francisco, a motel. It was not really a hotel. It was more a motel.
Were you staying in a hostel?
Yeah, no, like side road, with a fake swimming pool that's like they can only fit like 4 people, the
Yeah.
kind. And yeah, there were bed bugs. So I swore that I was never gonna do that again.
No, you have to be careful about that. You have to read the reviews, Fanny.
I know it was a quick thing. I was new.
I've been living mostly in hotels for the last, coming up on 4 months, and it's been interesting. I haven't encountered little parasites like that though. People keep telling me that was like one of the things. Like anytime someone said that word, I'd be like, "Don't say that word. You're gonna call them. They're gonna come and get us. Don't even say it." And so like when you go into a new hotel, if it's a bit dodgy, you're supposed to check like in the crevices of the mattress to see if they look like coffee stains because of how easily squished they are and how full of blood they are.
Yeah, I don't I don't know. What are you supposed to do as a vegan, with bed bugs?
Change hotels.
Change hotels. So you let them be. They
First
should
of all-
feed on other people, not
Well,
you.
I mean, what are you supposed to do? You're not going to solve the bed bug plague. You will not solve the bed bug problem no matter what you do. So you might as well just change hotels before they get their eggs in you.
Yes, that's gross.
It's totally gross. And also, I don't know how you feel about parasites, but I feel like parasites are fair game because I still have the right to self-defense. You know what I mean?
Yes, I feel the same. Like if I had lice in my hair, I would get rid of them.
Yes.
Because it's like you're literally on my body. This is not your space. This is my space.
I kill millions of bacteria every day. I kill anything that is. If I had a tick or a botfly, I would kill it.
Did you ever have a tick? I did have once.
I've had one tick in my life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where did you have a tick in Europe?
It was under my armpit in Belgium when I was young, because I was just hanging out a lot with my dog, and at the time my parents didn't think it was important to wash your dog ever or to check them for ticks.
So it jumped off the dog and got into you.
Yeah,
so now you're part dog.
And we were at the swimming pool, and my friend was like, "What is that weird thing in your armpit?" And I was like, "I don't know, what is that?" And she removed it.
Did it leave the head inside of you?
I don't think so because nothing happened after that.
So one time I had so I went on a hike, and then after my hike, I went to this I owned a restaurant, and this fancy wine dinner was happening, and I sat down next to the winemaker, and I was like, "Oh yes, yes, oak and blah 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 blah, oak and legs. Yes, wine is so delicious, isn't it?" And like, "Oh yes, how posh and how delightful we all are in this private event with the winemaker." And then after night, I went home and I got showered, and it was behind my knee, like in my knee pit. It must have crawled up my leg, and who knows when it did it, because it was probably on my shoes at some point, and then got
Or
up
it
there.
was the winemaker guy.
No, I don't think so. It was the hike earlier, I'm sure. But like, what I think is interesting about that is that what I couldn't help. I had this overwhelming feeling that wow, we have all of these human beings. We surround ourselves with all of these luxuries and all of these how to do's and all of these precious little moments, but we are at the end no better than a deer or a dog. We're the same. We're just another animal with ticks and fleas and filth. And
Ugh.
and, and I imagine as I'm sitting there, making pleasant conversation with my and showering him with encomiums, a little beastie climbed up my leg and was making good for the warmest part of my
Was
leg.
like, "You're my dinner."
And luckily, I didn't get it. Didn't This little bastard didn't get too far up, because it could have gotten just a couple more feet.
It's so funny because yeah, it could have gone even wronger. But it's so funny how we always think we might die, us humans, killed by big animals like lions or whatever. But
Hmm.
what's really sneaky is all the tiny ones. I remember I was in Senegal once and I was 16 years old. I was traveling with a group, and at some point, I don't know, I'm in my bedroom and something crawled out of my belly button, and I was like, what is happening? It
My
was new
God.
fear unlocked. I was like,
Yeah, out
what?
of your belly button.
Out of my belly button. For the rest of the trip, I put a band-aid on my belly button because I was afraid that another, like, whatever critter was gonna come in my belly. I was so freaked out.
That's why King Hippo has his belly button band-aided. Now I know, if you ever know. So unbelievable. A creature crawled out of your belly button. I feel like
Yes.
if a creature crawls out of your belly button, you have permission to kill that animal.
Yeah, I think I just freaked out and ran away. It was tiny though. It looked like yeah, something with little antennas, and I was like, what if they're babies or whatever? So I went to
Yeah,
see a
you start
nurse,
thinking like,
and
why
I was
wouldn't
like,
they?
can you check my belly button? I felt so silly, and I was like, how did I not feel something was in there?
Yeah, how did you not know that it was something was crawling in?
Scarina says, "Sky was the fancy dinner."
I was the
Uh-huh.
fancy dinner for the tick.
Yes, I think Karina likes you for dinner too.
It could have been, maybe. I hope so. I do. I'm a pretty piece of flesh. The it might have been the Lone Star tick for all I know, but I've never tested. I might have alpha gal syndrome, the
Oh,
disease that.
oh,
Mhm.
that's what's happening. Okay.
I might have alpha gal syndrome, which is the disease one catches from the Lone Star tick in order to make you vegan. Uh,
Ugh,
it's a vegan ally,
it is.
the Lone
Yeah.
Star tick. Yeah. Okay. So, you stayed but you found bed bugs. But did you find, normally when you go into an American hotel, you find this little book here? Have you seen it?
Oh, I think I have seen it, and I was like, why? What's happening?
The Gideons. It's the Gideons International. They distribute Bibles, that you'll find them oftentimes in front of universities,
It's not a
handing out
law.
little. No, it's not a law. There's no
It's
law.
not like every hotel in
Must
America
have.
should have
Must have a Bible. Every hotel in America must have a Bible by law.
by law.
No, they have that, but because of this, I've been doing this in each one.
Oh my goodness, Sky, I love it.
Leave me off of your grocery list. Go vegan. And so
They're gonna have to replace them all.
across America, how often must they check them? I don't think so. So anyone who I've been doing it for a long time now, anyone who gets a book with one of these stickers in it,
You were there.
I was there. Exactly.
It's like teenagers, doing in the bathroom, making little initials. You're just putting your
Yes.
stickers.
But I have all of these stickers and I've had a good time. Here's one. I like this one. It's a bit rougher.
Yeah, this one's a bit more aggressive.
Yeah. I
It's
don't
funny
know.
because it's PETA 2. Usually PETA 2 is a bit
They're
more
usually looks like
soft.
the nice guys. Yeah. They
Yeah.
usually do the nice stuff. But I think that these are pretty hardcore. I mean, this one's pretty rough.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't see. Oh, no, now I see. Leave me up here. Yeah, no, it's true. It's gross.
Yep, it's gross. But you know what? You gotta have some grossness if you're gonna have some
I have a bunch of stickers you gave me, but they're all in my stick to my bottle, and I don't have my bottle right now.
well, that's okay.
But so what happened to you this week, Sky? What did you do? I saw all your videos, and I saw this weird mom who was like telling their son, "Hey, look, this is dinner," and she's
Yeah.
showing her son a truck with dead chickens on it, with
Bloody
all
chickens.
blood,
She's
and
like,
she's
that's
like,
food. That's food.
"That is food," and I was like, "All right, what is she trying to teach or accomplish?" I think she was teasing you, but I was like, too bad she has to do that to her son in order to tease you.
I thought she was because she comes up and I'm like, hello, how you doing? And because I'm thinking she wants to talk, but then she's like, starts filming herself with the, and I get that a lot, people filming, taking pictures of themselves with the truck. Sometimes they like to eat food. They like to eat
Yeah, I've seen that guy too.
chickens in front of, yeah, they like to eat sandwiches made from chickens on the in front of the truck. That happens a lot, but they're not always so vocal, you know. A lot of them, as soon as they see that I'm filming, they'll run away because let's face it, they're used to picking on defenseless animals, not people
Yeah.
like you and me.
I kind of wonder what's going on in their head, because if I was like, I would see someone do this and I was like, ugh, I would just kind of walk away. And I'm wondering what's happening in their head, that they're like, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna show them, and like, I don't know what's happening in their
I
head.
think they're triggered. I think that like they see something that they've obviously thought about, like, and they don't like to be confronted by that truth. That's the only thing I can think of. I don't think anyone who's like that is going, I've never seen something like this before. I think a lot of them are going, yes, I know it's horrible and I don't want to be reminded of it. And that's why they start getting upset. You know, it's like telling somebody that Santa Claus doesn't exist and they won't get something for Christmas this year.
And it was kind of odd, because that person, so this guy, he was like upset with you, and he was like eating his sandwich, and you were just saying, why was it triggering for you or something like that. And then after, he came back with his card and he filmed you, and I was like, does he think that Sky cares about being filmed and
like,
on social media? Like, that's the whole purpose of this,
right.
is to be filmed, is to show something and, be the face of that. So I was like, what is he trying to accomplish? Make you uncomfortable?
What
Like,
I think also interesting is that he left. Okay, so he went through the drive-through and obviously saw the truck. Then drove around, parked, got out of his vehicle, carried with him his sandwich in order to eat it in front of the truck.
yeah.
Then gets in runs away from me because I said, what? Because he said, oh, this goddamn aggravating truck and da-da-da. I'm like, well, if it's aggravating, why is it aggravating? Tell me, talk to me. And so then he runs away. And he calls me names. And so I said, well, I'm not the weirdo. You're the one eating, the product of, I meant to say product of raping animals, but like, I'm just like, a raped animal works in a jam. And so he runs away. And then he comes back with the same, because I thought he was going to come at that moment, but he doesn't. He makes the big circle around to come back again. It's like, dude, you just ruined your own lunch. Like,
Yeah.
mission accomplished.
Yeah. Yeah, truly, because you're just there and you're just showing something, and then he goes out of his way to come and show you, I don't know, like he doesn't care. Maybe he was trying to show he doesn't care, but he showed that he actually
Really
really
does
cared
care.
and
Yeah.
felt bad. And I was like, I don't understand what he's trying to accomplish, but
That
it was
same
interesting.
that same location, it was a very busy Chick-fil-A. Another guy showed up and he's like, "Man, I hate Chick-fil-A. I'm so glad you're doing this. I'm so glad you're here. Chick-fil-A, I guarantee you," he said, "people are going to call you names, but everyone here, they're seeing this truck and they understand, they're learning. I'm so glad you're doing this." And that was really cool. And then
Mhm.
someone who was like a driver, maybe a Postmates driver or something, they're constantly, because that's where I was parked, because they have to leave
Mm.
that open. So I parked right in front. I usually use the curbside pickup for this. So I come right up. They can't get rid of me, and
Yeah.
so like they won't even, the managers and the owners, they won't even talk to me. They don't even try. You can see them,
Yeah.
they're on the phone calling somebody. But I'm like, dude, I'll be gone before the cops show up to something like this.
Yes, of course.
And even if they do, what law have I broken?
Yeah.
I parked
You badly
temporarily in
parked.
the
Yeah.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I blocked parking temporarily. What's the crime? Like, is there a law against blocking parkings temporarily?
Yeah.
So I guess they could say I trespass on private property, but again, it's a public access
Yeah.
road, so there's nothing they can do. But yeah, it was really exciting. And then so the fact that the drivers too are like, "I don't eat chickens. I'm a delivery person." I'm like, "Well, everyone's got to make a buck, I guess." And she's like, "Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm going to Chick-fil-A, but I don't go to Chick-fil-A." And it's like, okay, it's interesting how people like
Mm-hmm.
walking by were telling me this. It was great. I'm having such a good time with this truck. Every hotel person, this morning when I was checking out of my last hotel, the lady's like, "Oh, you have the PETA shirt on." And I said, "Yeah, is that your truck?"
You
"Yeah." "Oh my God, my 9-year-old doesn't want to eat animals." "Well, that's
good.
good. Don't force
Good.
him."
And what
Yeah.
did she say after?
She says, "Oh my God, I think he wants to be vegan." That's so, I'm like, here's your vegan starter kit. And just don't be cruel to your son, because I think most children, when given the choice, don't want to kill an animal, don't want to
Of
hurt an
course.
animal. And we ended up talking for a long time about, she's Black, and we talked about slavery, and we talked about how 100 years ago, 120 years ago, they would have had similar defenses, because she asked me about lions, and she's like, "Oh, you're right. Oh my God." It was a really rewarding conversation. And yeah, she got some
I wonder,
stickers and she got a vegan starter kit.
did she tell you how it came to the mind of the child? Like how this child was suddenly like, okay, this is something I want to do. What happened? Was there an event?
Yeah, well, she told me that as soon as the child figured out that this is chicken and that's chicken, and this is a cow and this is cow, as soon as he got that, he started saying he doesn't want to eat animals. And so I find that, and I said, "Well, you know what? There's so many vegan options now." And before, because she asked me about like when I went vegan, what I did. I said, "Well, I learned I learned how to cook better. I learned ethnic food. I kept my mind open. I went vegan because I'm against violence and oppression, not because I didn't want to eat these things. But when I want a burger or something, I'll eat Beyond or something like that. But that exists now. It's so much easier now. You don't have excuses."
Yeah, it's interesting because I wanted to make a post about, and I was talking to a friend this morning because recently I posted in my stories. I was asking, do you think the violent images they're still useful for people and all?
I saw that. I answered your poll too. What do
Yeah,
you
and yeah, and it was interesting. Oh, sorry, I lost my train of
Well,
thought.
you had a poll asking if the violence in
Yes,
depicted is still useful.
and I have someone who told me, I have a food addiction, not food addiction, but like uh
Violence addiction, addiction to rape, addiction to torture
n-
addiction.
no, but like someone who will hurt themselves with food,
Oh,
a
an
eating
eating
disorder.
disorder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this person was like, I have an eating disorder, so it's really hard for me because whenever I feel like I cannot have some type of food, then I feel bad and I feel like I want to have more of that, and it triggers. And I said, well, maybe you can think of animals as not food. They're
Yeah.
not food, like they're individuals, and maybe then you won't feel like you're depraving yourself. Because I never felt on a diet when I became vegan, and I've
No.
been like a lot of people on many diets my whole life. So it was interesting to see this perspective,
Yeah,
and also,
the eating disorder idea is always so interesting, right? Because like the idea being that I'm going to mentally look at something as food and then want to eat. But the thing is, you're absolutely right. That's not food. Go to the
that's not food.
supermarket and with 3 words, you solve the problem. That's not food. That's not food. That's not food. And you
Mhm.
end up like
That's an
my
individual that was killed, right?
yeah.
And to a lot of people also, they feel like they're gonna have to restrain themselves whenever they go vegan. But for me personally, and maybe it's because I was illiterate in food, but I have
Mhm.
discovered so many new foods. I
Yeah.
had never eaten red lentils before. I had never eaten guacamole. I don't come from California. I know that for everybody it seems impossible to live without guacamole, but in Belgium it's not a thing. So
It's pretty
so many
hard not
things.
to it's pretty hard not to live with guacamole.
Right, but it's like so many new foods that and cuisines that I have discovered because I'm vegan. It's mind-blowing to me when people are feeling restricted.
Yeah, and we were talking about we brought up peanut butter and jelly. I'm like, there's like the go-to American meal is peanut butter and jelly, and there's no reason why there needs to be like, I mean, that's pretty amazing, and you don't need to eat much else than that. You can live off peanut butter and jelly. My heart goes out for people who have eating disorders, and I think that's something that's so difficult to navigate when we're talking about veganism. But I think you did it perfectly, and like the idea is just that like what's the animal got to do with your eating disorder is the other thing that I like to say. Like I understand you have an eating disorder. My heart goes out to you, and we have we have lots of resources for people who have those issues. And there's some even vegan resources. There's Challenge 22. There's you can text mentor to PETA, and they'll help you. But at the end of the day, what's the animal got to do with this?
Hmm. And yeah,
Quack.
it's yes, they do have fries on said nugget. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's interesting. And also, if you have an eating disorder, usually it's veganism goes in the same mindset of healing yourself, because veganism is non-violence
right.
towards others and towards yourself. And oftentimes when you have an eating disorder, you're hurting yourself. It's violence against yourself,
That's true
right?
too. Hmm.
So if you are vegan, usually you're not supposed to be violent to others and to you too. So I would say that it goes in the mindset of that.
Yeah, I think about like people like Fiona Apple, who's had lifelong problems with OCD and eating disorders as a manifestation of of her OCD, and she's maintained veganism throughout it, and she even questions sometimes whether or not her veganism was an eating disorder, and but it
Mhm.
wasn't. It was because she cared about animals, so she stayed with it. Yeah, I mean, but it was great too. She goes, "Well, you don't look hungry. I mean, you look fed." I'm like, "Oh, thank you. Thanks so much."
That's that's the one thing that people never say to me either when I'm like posting my videos. I never had to think, well, of course you're vegan. Look, you don't look healthy and well fed. I'm
Yeah,
like, I I do look like I feed myself enough. More than enough.
yeah, right. I've had more than enough.
Yes,
Thanks. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
But this week, yeah, this week was interesting for me because I was telling Jess, and you know that I've had a bunch of other projects before Fannulous, before
Yeah.
my vegan project online. I've had an acting project. I have had my TV show that we worked on together, and I never dealt with haters. Never.
And how about
Eh,
now?
yes, and I only started Fannulous a month ago, and two of my videos, one on YouTube and one on TikTok, have received a lot of hate comment. I mean, it's
Mm,
not hate, it's not it's not fuck you, you asshole, whatever, but it's like, oh, that's stupid, and oh, it doesn't make any sense. You don't know what you're talking about,
Yeah.
And it's interesting to me because I realize there is a lot of misconceptions in education that if these people just went to Google and asked the question, Google would answer it and they would
Yeah.
know. And and in my head, I'm like, why aren't people fact checking something before they start arguing? Because, for example, I said, oh, Faye is vegan. I showed that
Mhm.
my dog was vegan, that I was giving my dog vegan food. And a lot of people was like, your dog is carnivore. How do you dare, you bad pet owner?
Yeah,
And I
they
was
don't know
like,
what a dog is.
dog is omnivore. They can totally, like, please check Google. Don't trust me. Go and
Yeah.
ask Google.
Google
And
it,
it,
moron. Yeah.
yeah, and it's but oftentimes it's like teenagers, so it's like kids, it's people who haven't had their whole education yet. But in my head, I'm like, where is the education lacking? Because
Hmm.
they know these words, they know omnivores and carnivores, and they use them wrongly. And I'm
Well,
like,
it's not just that. I mean, it's like the fact that they're okay. They're teenagers, but they're in high school at least, right? If they're teenagers, which makes also our education system is just in the toilet. Like our education system is a disgrace, and people just they got fifth grade science class, and that's about where they stopped learning, and that's it. This is as far as they got.
mhm,
They're The average American has a reading level as like sixth grade, seventh grade, or something like that. I mean,
mhm,
it's really abysmal and kind of scary if you think about it. So
mhm.
I guess that's what's being kind of revealed there. But I wonder. So I've often said, like, if you want someone to call you ugly, if you want someone to call you if you want someone to call you names and stupid, then start a vegan site, start a vegan YouTube channel. Because, but so I'm sorry it's happening to you. But how have you weathered the storm?
Honestly, my only, like, people have not been insulting, like you just said, like calling me ugly or calling me names, because usually, like, my things were not, I was not insulting them. You know what I mean? Like, I'm doing provocative content, but I'm not doing insulting content, or at least I'm trying, right? Because that's not my
Mhm.
goal. My goal is to convert people. So I don't want to
Okay.
tell them I hate them, right? Because I don't, right? But so they were trying to correct me. They were trying to tell me, well, this is wrong. And I was
Hmm.
like, all right, here's a list of websites and recommendations by your own government and
Yeah.
institutions and science. Like, here it is. And so people would start to like stop answering,
Hmm.
because once I guess they see that I'm knowledgeable about what I'm talking about, then it's like I'm not believing in crystals. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I'm not saying they don't work, but I'm not talking about that. It's like there's
I
no
like to say
science.
I'm not relying on spectral evidence. I'm not trying to say that God or some unseen,
Yeah.
yeah, it's really such a ridiculous thing. People try to tell you, well, like, well, what about the today I got that. What about the billions? It's always the what about. What about the billions of insects you killed from growing your veggies? It's okay, well, 80% of vegetables are on planet Earth are grown to feed animals. And so now, like, if you want to lower your case, your imprint on that, then stop eating animals, and you'll lower your impact on that by 80%. And they always know say they never say anything. But I always feel like at least there's one more person that they've read it. So at least there's one more person out there who's like repeated the Joe Rogan thing and then got an answer, and now they won't repeat that again. I keep just it's like playing whack-a-mole.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
that's why I give them the link, because if it's only me, they don't have to trust me. Who am I? I don't have
Mhm.
any degree in science or medicine or any of that, or nutrition. But ask Google, ask ChatGPT. Like, they know better, and then you'll see the truth. But here's a link in case you want. So it's
Well, yeah, I
very
mean, as like online vegans, it becomes now your responsibility to educate others, and I have to take that responsibility seriously, even though I have to sigh every single time. And
That
it's
is
like,
the same. Yeah.
yeah, and you know, my channel is not for non-vegans, and so, but when something goes viral, I get a lot of non-vegans, and like my TikTok's been doing quite well lately, and my Instagram's doing pretty well, and so like, and my YouTube had a couple little spikes this week, and when that happens, a lot of non-vegans are the ones pushing it because of engagement, right? The engagement feeds that
Mhm.
algorithm, and if you feed those trolls, the trolls will come. And so then it's like I have to go into outreach mode, and it's hard, but like at least because of my whole kind of shtick of being for vegans only, I can be a little bit meaner, you know, and I don't mind.
Well, at some point, because a lot of people also were like, well, I really think you should do whatever you want, but you shouldn't push other people to do things. And every time I'm like, who's forcing you to be here? Like,
Yeah.
I
Oh well,
put
you
this.
say that, but I say who's you say that, but meanwhile, like I've gotten a lot of that today, these last couple of days, because of what happened yesterday. Well, you know, you're bothering people, and you're like, just let people live, and I'm like, well, let the animals live, and I'll go away. Let the
Mm-hmm,
animals live, and I'll shut up.
mm-hmm.
How about that? Like you talk about letting and live and let live while you're killing an animal. Don't tell me to live and let live, because you're not living and let living. You know.
Really good answer. Yeah, it's a really good answer. It's like, why are you so annoying? Because nobody else is gonna do it.
Because you're raping children, because you're
Yeah.
like, well, why can't you let people eat what they want, and then you could do whatever you want? I'm like, okay, well, I'll just let someone rape who they want and just walk
Mhm.
away. It's no big deal. Somebody should be standing up for the victims, somebody. And okay, maybe that's not for everybody, but I think it is. I think it is your responsibility to stand up for the victims who are being bullied. And
Mhm.
you could be a bully, you could be someone who just watches the bully, you know, pick on somebody else and thank God it's not you. Or you could be the person that goes and fights the bully. I'm
Yeah.
going to be the one who tells the bully, hey, stop.
It's been hard though because YouTube doesn't let me use all the language I want
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I'm not using insults or whatever, but I'm saying things like, oh, these animals have been raped or they've been
Mhm.
killed or all of that. And YouTube is like, your comment was not published,
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn it. And I wrote, the big thing. So now I'm really testing, okay, what language can I use? And for
Yeah.
example, saying these animals want to live instead of these animals don't want to die is like
Yeah.
an easier way to comment on YouTube because YouTube will censor a lot of it, which I understand because they don't want to have people say, I wish you died, stuff
Yeah,
like
but I mean,
that.
like that's the whole problem. Like, it's so funny because I want to talk with Jess about this, but I listened to an interview about with Sam Altman about that. He's the guy who got fired and rehired over at ChatGPT,
Yeah.
and he was talking about how frustrating it is to be scolded by a robot, because if you wanted to look up something about human sexuality with ChatGPT, it would censor you, and that's not okay. And that's not what they want to do. But it's like that's the best solution they have right now. And it's simply limiting access to knowledge because of that. It's limiting conversation because of it. And
It's
so
true.
they're trying to find ways that the computer can kind of intuit your intentions, and maybe get infer that you're not, you know, trying to be like, you're not trying to say you're pro rape, right? You're trying to say I'm against rape, and that's why you should also not rape animals. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's interesting because it's such like ChatGPT and all the AI stuff that Google and YouTube and all they are already using these tools. I mean, it's
Yeah.
right there, but they don't have this like perception yet, like distinction between okay, this person is just explaining something using the appropriate word, or this
Hmm.
person is like using this language to like hurt or insult or whatever. So it's it's interesting. No pedophile. Yeah,
Well, that's
hopefully
exactly.
not.
Well, I think that as these conversations continue, we'll be training, like our conversations that we're having will be more and more looked at as, oh, they're not using this language in order to hurt, they're using it to help. And I think that'll be something that is in the future taken into account and learned, because these are learning machines. What's happening is that an AI is hearing words that you're saying and being like, no, and they're not
Mhm.
learning, and the AI doesn't know you as well right now because of your new channel. But like for me, every once in a while I have a comment removed, but it's pretty rare now. And I
Mm.
haven't changed the way I talk. It's just that I have to, appeal and whatever and go
Yeah.
back and,
Yeah,
you
for
know.
me, it doesn't even publish it. I hit enter, and then automatically the thing is disappeared.
That
And I'm
happened
like,
to
damn
me.
it.
That happened to me this week. It's so annoying because
Yeah,
it's like, what is the robot clearly doesn't understand the vibe. The,
the
the
actual
robot's not catching the vibe.
read the room, robot.
Hmm. Yeah, the algorithm does pick it up. You're absolutely right.
It's true.
But the truth is, like, with live streaming and with this channel, like I've just understood that it's going to be slow growth, and
Yeah,
it's just going to be, people are going to.
because
And I'm not, that vegan teacher. I'm not that vegan teacher. And I'm not vegan gains, and I'm not, I'm trying to
mhm.
be a channel for
You're
vegan.
you. You're you.
Yeah,
And it's interesting also because these conversations, they have just told me, okay, I need to make content about this. Because if I'm still having these conversations about this belief that dogs are carnivores, I need
yeah,
to make a video that shows that my dogs not that dogs are not carnivores, right?
yeah,
Because it's
exactly.
like it's just all of these conversations from trolls or haters, or I'm just gonna say sometimes ignorance or uneducated
Yeah,
people, and it's not pejorative, it's what it is, the lack
yeah,
of education.
and
um,
ignorant.
I'm just like, I just need to make more content about this, so it's actually directing my content to, okay, I need to talk about this.
That's kind of how I see the future of the puppets that I have too. That they'll be the ones to say facts about things. Like this week, Larry said, this is the faux fur Friday, but Larry also, 1923, they invented faux fur, stop dressing like a caveman. But then also Larry said, oh yeah, a billion, 10 billion chickens are killed every year. That's a million every hour in America alone. And it's like, no one, when it's a puppet, is like, what's your source? Everyone's just like, God damn, they believe it, you know?
Hmm.
It's a very strange thing. And I don't know. But if anyone hasn't liked this video, please like this video, like this stream. Hopefully, I heard
Yay!
I heard now that when you say that, the like button, the little thumb button will illuminate to let
Did
people
it?
know where it is. I don't know. People told me it works.
Oh
It's kind of
my
interesting.
gosh. Yes, like it. Like. I'm going to say I like broccoli
Smash
every.
that like button. Hit that thumb button.
Oh, that's smart. So, one thing that I wanted to talk about. Oh my gosh, I'm not following. I'm Jess would tell you I'm the worst at checking who's following me and following back. I need to become way better at this because
Mhm.
I kind of just not watch that, and I need to be better. Thank you for the reminder. But one thing I wanted to talk about, maybe we've talked about this, but I think sometimes people have a hard time really figuring out that animals are like us, but to me, it's so obvious when I see my dog dream. My dog
Oh
has
yeah.
nightmares. My
Yeah.
dog will bark in her nightmares trying to escape something. And, because she's a rescue dog, I'm like, does she remember her previous family? Does she miss them and she has nightmares about that? Does she remember being rescued by the shelter, or did she not like the shelter? She got spayed there or neutered. I don't know what the word
Is
is
she
for.
work is she learning about is she working through past trauma and ideas that she's had in the past and reliving those experiences of just
Did she
different outcomes?
Yeah, did she get scared today by a squirrel and she is thinking about that? Like it's so interesting to me because I think, I don't know, I feel like your brain has to be some sort of intelligence to have dreams,
Mhm.
because it's like it's like connecting dots. That's what our brain does when we dream. And it's so I don't know. When I see her, I'm having dreams like that and nightmares. I'm like, how can you deny if you see an animal having this, that they have like that they have thoughts and feelings and emotions, and even more than we maybe think, and
Yeah, I
especially
mean,
animals.
totally. I mean, now that you see the animals dream, what else are they doing that are like us, right? I mean, I feel like you can always know that they're so much like us, that they're like that. It's not just dogs and cats that dream either. I mean, it's every animal dreams. Every animal has these experiences.
You've seen the video of I sent Sky a video of Faye when we bought her a rug. So this week we
Yeah.
bought her two rugs. First we bought a tiny one for the bedroom, and when we put it, it's the first time that she just stayed there and she did not follow us inside the house. She just stayed there because she was so
Mhm.
happy. She loved the rug. So I
She
was
just
like,
loved the rug.
he loved the rug. And I was like, we need to buy another rug because she obviously feels that peace. And if there is one thing with this dog is anxiety, right? So we
Yeah.
bought a huge rug for our living room. When we installed the rug, she went nuts. She was so happy. She was barking. She was jumping. She was showing us, hey, I'm so happy. I love this thing. Like, I don't know if she
Yeah.
was saying thank you, but she was like, yes, and I was like, how can people deny that these animals have feelings, emotions, things they like, things they don't like? I can't imagine. Yeah.
I totally, yeah. I mean, they're communicating. I hate it when people say that they're the like. I know anonymous for the voiceless means that they don't have, but they do have a voice. They're telling us all the time that they don't want to be killed, that they don't want to be hurt, and that they do love and enjoy other things. They tell us all the time. It's just that we refuse to listen,
Hmm.
and that's something that you see with an animal. I can. You're really. Your microphone is really cracking me up right now.
Sorry.
It's like
Sorry. Sorry. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I see there's a little hole in there, and that's what's happening. Sorry.
I need you to get you a little lav mic, a lavalier mic that goes
I
like right
need
here.
I need a new headphone. I'm gonna test another headphone next time because I have plenty. I just like this one because it's pink, but I'm gonna try another
Ooh.
next time.
Or you could always do it like around the back. Have you seen it? People do this.
Oh, I should do that. Hold
And
on.
well, where's the mic though? I don't see where the mic is.
No, it's here. We'll see if it helps. Does it help? No. Okay, for next time, I'll fix this
See,
guy.
a lot of people do it that way so that you can't see it. They're vain and they're like, see, now it looks like I'm not wearing but
Yeah.
I'm wearing.
Now you look like you have a ponytail. That's nice.
I look like I have a white
What
ponytail.
happened to your beard, Sky? I was confused.
November ended. No Shave
Oh,
November is over, and now I'm going to. Yeah, I shaved it off. I'm thinking about shaving this little thing off too. I don't know if I like it anymore, but
well, I'm not gonna say it, but I'm gonna say it. Jess started with this, and then suddenly you started doing this, and I was like, okay, that's cute. They're really friends. They're like
well, yeah,
style.
I did it because Jess had it.
It's
Uh,
funny.
I think I just like I don't know. It looks like kind of like a Guy Fawkes vibe, but I'm
What
probably gonna.
does Karina like? You should just follow whatever Karina likes, because
That's generally what I do. She likes the mustache only, so I think that we might
you have your
just do
answer.
that. Yeah, there you go. I mean, I go back and forth. I like to keep it. I keep it fresh. I mean, men don't have that many options when it comes to all the change ups, but so I like to be able to change it up. You
I
never
think
know what you're gonna get.
I think it's amazing to change your looks, and like for me it's because I always say that. For example, I love nail polish and I never wear any because whenever I have an audition for acting, I have to remove it because it doesn't fit the character. And I was like, ugh, because I just want to be able to do whatever makeup. Today I wore purple makeup because I had a purple top. It's like I like being
Yeah,
fancy like that,
yeah.
right? And I'm
See,
like,
women have all of these different options. Man, especially since I don't wear a tie anymore, and I don't wear like I'm wearing. It's so plain. The only thing I have is like this.
I mean,
right?
you could. In my opinion, you could if you decided to wear nail polish or
I could
even
wear nail polish,
makeup,
get
or if
tattoos on my hands,
you could do whatever you want,
wear rings.
or even makeup. Like, who cares, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm a little too old to pull that off, but I guess like I know some people do, but I don't. I'm not
No, it's just
really. I'm
a
not
state of
moved to wear
mind.
makeup. I don't judge anyone who does, of course. I think anybody can do whatever they want. But like for me, I guess I don't know. It's just not for me. I
It can
I
be not your thing.
I would feel silly.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I would feel like I would that no one would take me seriously. And
Huh.
so I
Interesting.
mean, I've heard that women sometimes go through that too. They have to decide what type of makeup to wear to be taken seriously and what type of makeup to be worn to be like coquettish or playful, and what makeup to wear when they're feeling saucy and seductress. So like I understand, but like if I wore anything makeup wise on my face, I would feel like no one would take me seriously. And that's a problem. I like being taken seriously.
I I think makeup should make you feel a certain way. Like for me, when I have my makeup on, it's like when I brush my teeth, I feel more confident.
Yeah.
It's for me that I do it. You know what I mean? And some days I'm gonna be like, oh, today I feel like I just want to have a chill day. And the fact that I'm not gonna wear makeup that day will make me feel, oh, I'm in a chill day, cool mood.
Yeah.
I can relax, right? So it's like I think whatever we do, how we dress, how we anything we do, it should be for us, for how it makes us feel. Like I will wear blue when I want to chill at home, and I will wear pink when I'm in a good mood and I want to do stuff. You know, it's like it's really impacting for me.
See, I think, yeah, I can understand that. I've heard that type of thing before. I just think that if, as a man, I would not feel if I walked out of the house with makeup. Also, here's the other thing is, man, it's a lot of shit to bring. I already got it. I'm traveling pretty light, but god damn, if I had a bunch of other stuff like makeup bags and the rest, I would be like when I was traveling with Joseph, he had like all of these products like different lubricants and like makeups
Lubricants. I don't
and
think
like
you mean what you say.
moisturizers.
Lubricants. I
He had
don't think
everything.
I'm not the English speaker, but I don't think lubricants is something you put on your face. You might if you really want to.
Well,
I
who
don't.
knows? You can put it wherever you want, I suppose. But
I guess it's even edible. I guess.
like he had like all these Sephora products and masks and all this other stuff, and I'm just like, you know what? Maybe he will look younger in the long run as it goes, but I can't. I'd rather look old and not have to carry all that shit around, you know?
Yeah. Well, like moisturizing and all of that is also helping your skin. For me, the first reason I started putting cream on my face when I was like, I don't know, 10 or 12 is
Yeah.
because when I would come out of the shower, my skin would be like, I would feel as if like someone was stretching my skin. And the
Yeah.
fact that I would moisturize would make that feeling go
Yeah,
away.
but
And that,
hotels have that. Like every hotel I go to has moisturizer. Like I don't have to carry it with me, some special moisturizer from like a special I don't know. I don't have to get like Shiseido moisturizer for men from my local Ulta or something like that and then bring it around. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think it's the same ingredients though. Some ingredients are better and
Probably.
some are
You're
you know,
probably right. I'm saying I don't think it's worth the hassle for me. I'm gonna
yeah.
end up in the ground, and on my last, though I'll be burned up or aqua cremated or whatever. And when I'm finally gone, and people are rejoicing, I won't be like, you know what I wish I'd
Rejoicing?
done.
What are you talking about?
I wish I'd spent more
Water
time.
cremated and then rejoicing? No, Sky.
Some people will be happy that I'm gone, and I'll be like, well,
Fuck
as I
them.
as I lay dying, I'm not going to be wishing that I had. Ooh, hotel moisturizer isn't vegan though. Probably. How do you know? I don't think. I think hotel moisturizer probably is because it's like the cheapest stuff they can get. So I'm guessing it is. But also nowadays in lots of hotels, it'll say plant-based on the hotel. It'll say
Yeah,
plant-based moisturizer. It'll
yeah.
say it right there. So I not every hotel, but lots of them will put it right on the label, like big on the label, plant-based. But I have to believe that most of hotel moisturizer is probably vegan because of the stuff when I've spot checked it, it's always been at least vegan. Is it cruelty free? That's another question.
Ugh.
Sometimes, like Windgate by Windham has all Dove products, and they all have the bunny logo on it to show that it's vegan and cruelty free. But I've been trying very hard to make sure, but
It's hard. Sometimes it just doesn't say, and these things are just labeled with the hotel name because it's like a promotional thing,
yeah.
and it doesn't say all the ingredients or whatever. But for me, it's also being minimalist. So, as a minimalist person, when I see other people, the number of skincare products and shampoo and everything that they have, I'm amazed. I'm always amazed because I'm like, I know that even if you use it like consistently,
Mhm.
you cannot use that much. And for me, I'm just someone who likes the same product and I know it works for me and I'm just going to buy that and I'm not going to try a million other things unless, oh, when I became vegan or when I moved to America, I was like, oh, I have to find all new stuff because the
Right.
brands here are different. um
Yeah.
but yeah, it's I understand the needs to not carry your life with you.
Yeah,
It's
I'm carrying my life with me, and it's like it's a lot. Like there's a lot of stuff that I'm carrying, and it's been rough because like because since I've been on this tour, I've been trying to eat at home more, not at home, you know what I mean, like in the
mm,
hotel more. So I have to carry around like an igloo a Coleman cooler, and it's fairly large. Like it's a decent size, and it's got my veganese in there, and it's got like a couple like staples, some mustard and ketchup, and I carry it with me to each hotel. And it's kind of annoying, man, to have this other piece of furniture to move with me. And
mhm.
then I have my ukulele.
Aw,
I have my ukulele. I play it.
yay.
Yeah, I play it at every hotel, and just to annoy the neighbors, I play it at night. I haven't gotten any complaints yet. And and then there's the computer bag, and then all my clothes. So it's a lot to carry with you. I don't carry much on the toiletries side. I carry toothpaste and that type of thing, but like I don't really carry all of the rest. But I don't really use all that much either. I don't really use moisturizers, and if it doesn't say plant based on there or something where I can like at least be pretty confident that I'm not going to use it. Yeah,
I
nice
get that.
case. Yeah.
Yeah, Jess loves her case.
Yeah, and Vance is totally right. Cruelty free doesn't mean vegan though. Absolutely, he's right. Vegan Vance, absolutely right. You have to be sure that
I wish it did.
it's cruelty free and vegan. Yeah, I think vegan should mean both, but people are stupid, so they've got now cruelty free products that aren't vegan and vegan products that aren't cruelty free. It's like
It's so interesting how we were talking about that with a friend, how words will have a different impact on people because so many people will care a lot about having cruelty free products, but not vegan. They will really want their products to be cruelty free, but if it's vegan, they're like, ugh, vegan,
well, and
or
it's the
plant.
vegans' fault though, because vegans are always talking about cruelty. People like, and this is people that I like, people like Ed Winters, people like Joey Carbstrong. I spent a lot of time talking about cruelty. And although now they're starting to talk about animal rights and how they deserve not to die because of just how it's not about how they're farmed, it's about that they're farmed. Like that they're farmed is wrong. How they're farmed really doesn't matter. But as soon as you start talking about cruelty, that's what people think the goal is. And so we've spent all this time arguing about, and I've been guilty for years. I said this is cholesterol and cruelty free. That's vegan. Well, no, that's not why I went vegan. I didn't go vegan because it was cruel. I went vegan because it's wrong.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting because yesterday I was asking in my stories, I told you earlier, like do the images, the horror images about animal abuse, do they still serve their purpose? And I was asking, do you think we should have new ways of doing activism because are these images still necessary? And some people were telling me, no, I think we should not have these images. People have seen them and we should have new ways. And it's yeah, it's a little bit like what you're saying. It's like,
So
do
what did you
we
determine? What do you think?
for me, I don't want to do that in my channel. I don't want to show these images because as a vegan, my channel is for vegans and non-vegans.
Hmm.
And I've chosen to not use that, but I see so many people use that, and I think everybody should have their own way of reaching out to people. And
Hmm.
for me, I want to use humor and provocative question asking than triggering images. But I think that for some people, that's going to be the thing. You know, it
I mean, I'm
was for
driving
me.
around in a bloody chicken truck right now, and it's not, and like I'll tell people, this is PG. This is not really. This is light. This is
Mhm,
light compared to what's actually happening.
mhm,
And still, people would be like, "It's like this. It's this bad." And it's like, yeah, I'm not even showing the real footage. This is just images of chickens in a truck.
mhm.
You've seen what the truck looks like, and it's and people still going, "What?" So clearly, most people don't know, and most people are triggered by it still. And so,
I wonder how they don't know. Like to me, it feels like it's everywhere, but maybe that's just me. I'm like, how can they not have seen these images? They seem to me to be everywhere,
well, there's billions of
even
dollars
before
being
I was
spent.
vegan.
Yeah, but
But
there's billions of dollars being spent so that you don't see it. And then there's also people that they're not going to look, they want to swipe away. I mean, when we did the AV Cube in friggin' Denver, people would walk by like trying
hmm
to hide their face or try to hide their kids' faces. And it's like, this is happening. And people will say, "No, no, 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 no. This is something that I see all the time. No, you know." And
it's interesting because someone commented on the question I was asking. Someone said we live in a society that's the least showing the horrors compared to before. So it's interesting because to me, I feel like we're showing a lot of terrible things. Like we're showing people being beheaded on the internet, you know, and things like that. But if you look at history, um, people were beheaded on the public place, right? And kids, and it was an event, or people were thrown with lions and being eaten by lions for games,
yeah,
for play, for fun.
yeah.
So it's like, it's true that because of the internet, we see a lot of horrors, but at the same time, we on a regular basis don't see anything horrible happening.
Yeah, I don't think most people see the horrors. I think most people see people dancing on TikTok. I think people most see the dancing and the fun stuff. I don't think people see the real. I just think that, you know, your algorithm, that's one of the big tricks is that the algorithm is showing us something that they're not showing other people. There's an algorithm now, whether you like it or not, that's directed at Fanny, and it's
Mhm.
showing things for
That's
you.
why that's why I feel like if I do funny stuff that has a strong message, people who want to watch comedy are just going to be like, "Oh my gosh, this is funny." Oh no, wait, it's not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They get tricked into watching my thing. And that's why I'm like, I think humor is a way because I end up seeing that all the vegans follow the vegans, you know, and I end up seeing, oh, and they're sharing images, but really they're sharing images to their vegan friends. First of all, your vegan friends don't want to see that. Thank you very much. And second of all, who are you trying to convince with this? Because the only people seeing this are your friends
Well,
watching the
no,
algorithm.
I think that what happens is, so like let's say you shared something of, I don't know, a monkey getting hit in the head with a carpenter's hammer inside of a laboratory, which is a real video, right? And so you post that and you say animal testing is wrong. And then I repost that. Now I'm just a vegan who's seen that a million times, but I repost that and all of my friends will now see it. And they're
But
not.
your friends, let's be honest, most of my vegan activist friends are the people I follow. all of their friends are vegan activists, because the other one I have an account where it's Fanny Pierre, it's not Fannulous. I have
Mhm.
4,000 people, and I little by little I got these 4,000 people because I was posting about acting,
Mhm.
and my stories were seen by 400 people when I was posting about acting. And I started posting about activism. And now my stories are seen by 40 people, because
Yeah.
most everybody else has muted me or they don't want to see this. So it's like
Mhm.
they stopped interacting with me. They felt
Yeah.
judged, whatever. So I'm just like, and I lost a bunch of followers because, people don't want to see this and they hate me. So I'm just I'm feeling that if I was
I'm sure they
sharing,
don't hate you, but they don't want to see
they,
it. You're
they
right.
hate the messenger. Like they feel judged by
Well, there
me.
you go. But that's exactly the part. That's exactly the point. Why people haven't seen it is because the second they see it, they look away. They don't want to see it. They mute you. And so,
Exactly. That's why I'm like, if I was sharing images like this, they would just turn away. But if I'm tricking them into being like, hey, look, this is me, I'm being silly, but
yeah.
also there you go,
But I
then I
feel
can
like
trick them.
I still follow some of those like Sky Blue and Vegan John Wick and some of these others on Instagram because they'll show me things that I'm just like, I can't believe it shows me what I'm up against. It shows me what I have to fight against, and it kind of like re-ups. Like so, next time if I posted it, I'd be like, "This is what we're fighting against, folks. This is what you're avoiding if you're vegan. Share it." Like, and I don't know that I think it has a very important place in our culture to show people the truth, and even if no one's listening, to keep spitting the truth because if we're not screaming the truth, then and that truth could be told through comedy too. You're totally right. But if we're not out there doing it, and that's part of the truth is these images, like Joey Carbstrong and Dan Shepard breaking into well, getting a job at Pilgrim's Pride and getting imagery, hidden camera footage from the gas chambers. I mean, people need to see that. People need to see
Mhm.
what's happening. That gas, like okay, when you went vegan, when I went vegan, we weren't talking about gas chambers. And now we can point at it and say, look, this is what's happening. It's gas chambers. Are you for gas chambers or are you going to go vegan?
Mhm. Yeah.
You know?
No,
Or like,
I agree that maybe these images are still in a way necessary for to just be there, in documentaries, maybe on social media by certain people and all. But with me, I'm like, I don't think it's the proper way for me to do this. And I think that you need different
you do.
messengers for different type of people.
Yeah, but that wasn't the question because I agree with you on that. Like
Mhm.
you're totally right. Like if that's not part, if you don't feel like that's part of your voice, that's up to you. No one can
Yeah,
tell you how to tell the truth. But the question was, do these images
still
do
have
right?
still are necessary today. And it's true.
I
It's
think the
true.
answer is
I
yes.
think they still have the message, but I can tell like the people who did not answer yes to my questions were not vegan. And they were like, no, I don't want to see these
Yeah, I
images.
said yes.
Yeah. It was so a lot of people said yes, and then the people who did not say yes, most of them or all of them were not vegans who
Then
followed.
those are the people who need to see it. I tell you what, on the abduction tour, I was going around with the truck with the VR thing, but something that we didn't talk about very much was that we also had a screen showing in like I think it was maybe a 30-second loop, various experiments that are carried out, that are perpetrated against animals, right? These animals are being tortured, and it was straight up like there was one where Britches was pulled out of University of California Riverside, and he had his as an infant, as a baby monkey, had his eyeballs sewn shut, his face gauzed over his eyes, never saw the light in his entire life, had a sonar screeching inside of his head, drilled into his head, so that every moment of his life, all he heard was screeching. And when they broke into the lab and got the footage, the monkey, poor Britches, ended up dying. But he was tortured every day of his life until those folks broke him out. Now, that shit needs to be seen, because when these college campuses, these college students came by and they saw that, and I was like, yeah, that's on a university campus just like this one. It's University of Riverside, and this one of the cats, that's University of Madison. This one right here, this is University Davis, and I can point and say this is where this is happening, and you're part of it. And holy shit, people were jolted awake by those images. So I think that they're absolutely still necessary.
It's interesting to me because I'm just wondering like who these human beings are, like how they justify what, because I imagine like you're a scientist, right? There must be your first time that you do something that's like not cool to an animal, but that's like next level of
But they
doing
get you in
something
little
very.
pieces, right?
That's the thing. Like, how do you desensitize someone? How do you keep justifying that you're doing this one thing after another?
It's like the
It's like,
frog in boiling water. You don't throw a frog into boiling water. You bring up the
mhm,
heat slowly, right? Or else
yeah,
he'll jump out.
but it's,
But
yeah. I'm just wondering where, like, how can we stop at the source so these also atrocities don't ever happen? Because it's like, this needs to stop way before this thing
yeah.
happens, right? So it's like I
So
see
with
that.
animal testing, there's ways to the animal experimentation. We have ideas, right? We have the research modernization deal. We have like a campaign to get the NIH to stop funding grants that involve animals. And I think that that's actually doable. I think we might actually have some victories. But then how do you get like dissection out of schools? How do you get like
I don't.
there's
It's crazy because I didn't even know that was still a thing in America. Like in Belgium, it's been banned
yeah.
for so long. Like I know my sister had to do it, but my brother and I never, because the schools were like, "This is kind of wrong." Like
Yeah.
we're having a pet in class. I don't. I don't. I remember having that in my kindergarten class. We had a parrot,
Yeah.
but after that, never again have I seen any classroom having pets. Or yeah, it's interesting to me to see that it's still happening here.
Yeah, it's ridiculous too, right? I mean, like this idea that we're going to first you're going to learn how to, dissect a fetus, like a pig fetus, then you're going to learn how to dissect a frog, and then you're going to learn how to dissect a mouse. And as you keep going, now you're operating on a lot of times it's vivisection, so they're operating on living frogs, living mice, and it's it's horrific that we subject children to this and even adults.
Hmm.
It's trauma. It's traumatizing, and I don't think that. Well, let me put it this way: we have ways of getting some of these taken care of, but it still doesn't address the underlying issue, which is speciesism, and that's what I think we need to be educating people about. And I don't think it's possible without showing these images as much as we can. I don't do it on my channel very much. Sometimes I'll share a story or something here and there, but I'm a channel for vegans, so I don't usually have to do that. But with other people, with other things, I think it's important. I mean, people hear those chickens dying on my truck, and they're blown away. They
Yeah.
can't believe it. You know?
It's interesting because they're probably adults and they've been eating for most of their lives, and they know that the chickens had to die. But I
Yeah.
think between knowing and living it, there is such a big difference. We think we know what it is. It's like when they recruit for the army, they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, come to the army. It's gonna be cool. You're gonna defend your country, blah blah blah." Okay,
Yeah.
seems cool, seems like in the video games, and then you actually go to war, and the rest of your life you're fucked up because you don't
Yeah,
function.
if you lose the lottery, like my uncle, he went to Korea, and then he was sent after, like, before he saw any real action, he was sent to Hawaii, where he was like under a bunker, as a radar operator. My grandfather was in Germany during World War II, and and well, I guess he was in France and then into Germany as a tank technician, and he ended up not seeing any real action because the tank caught fire and he was burned with oil. So he ended up being sent home to work in California, but he was still in the military throughout the war. So it's kind of like, who knows what you? It's still a crapshoot. You don't know what you're getting into, but the lies that they fed you were that this was a just thing that that you have to do it. That you don't have a choice,
Mhm.
and when someone makes you believe you don't have any other choice, that to me is the most criminal idea, right? The most criminal thing you could do to someone is to give them the illusion that there is no choice. That's oppression.
Mhm.
And so sometimes with veganism, I think that we're fighting not only, I think for sure, we're fighting not only the oppression of animals, but the oppression of our fellow humans. But Agoric asked an important question: how do you stay positive, Fanny?
Well, for me, I stay away of a lot of the content that would trigger me. I adopted a dog that brings a lot of joy in my life. I married someone who is constantly making jokes and making me laugh. I pretty much only watch romantic comedies or comedy movies or action movies that really don't happen for real ever. Like, I don't watch the actual news, and that's a big thing, big difference between Sky and me, and even Jess and me. Jess is always the one being like, "Did you know this thing happened?" I'm like, "Oh, okay, interesting." Um,
Okay, I don't know.
yes, and then I also look at my fellow vegan friends, and I look at the future generations, and I see a lot of people actually, because sometimes we can focus on something and we can just focus on what's bad, and some days I
Mhm.
do, and Jess is like, come on, stop that, right? But some days I really look at all the people trying to change things. I look at my nieces and nephews being vegetarian when their parents are not, even though they're little, because they understand things we don't. So it gives me a lot of optimism. And then also, since I've been doing my part, since I've been actively trying to change things, I feel better. Because when I felt paralyzed
Yes.
in a position where I was like, all of this is happening and I'm powerless, for me, that was a terrible feeling. But now that I feel powerful, where I'm like doing things in order to change, it's a big difference for me. I feel way more positive. How about you, Sky?
I feel, how do I say positive? I feel, first of all, that if I went back in time and I had to decide whether which side I want to be on, the side of the slave owners or the side of the slave freers, the emancipators, I would choose the side of the emancipators. And so I feel like that makes me feel a lot better, right? Like the idea that I'm on the good guys' side. I'm on the side of the good guys. But also, like, I do watch movies. I like to shut off the phone and watch movies. But to be honest, like, I know how many people have been affected by my modest work, like, I don't need the truth is, you don't need the following of someone like Earthling Ed to make a difference. You could change so many lives and save so many lives simply by changing one person's mind. Think about if the average American kills 300 animals a year or something like that. There's always, that's 300 lives you saved just by convincing one person. That's huge.
Mhm.
And I always, the fact that people, the conversations that I have with people that are every day, I have at least one that's rewarding. So that's how I feel. Like, I know I'm making a difference, and maybe it won't change anything on the greater scheme, but at the end of the day, if you're fatalistic, at least I'll still be on the good guy side. Even if we lose, I'm still going to be on the side of the good guys, and that's important to me.
Yeah, it's interesting because even before I was vegan, I think for acting, I was, believing that my career was at some point gonna work and that I was gonna be in big movies and all. And people were like, but why do you choose to believe that? Because I personally think, that's my opinion, but like happiness is a choice, it's
Mm,
partially a choice.
yeah.
Um, because if I don't get up in the morning and choose to believe that what I'm doing is efficient, that there are solutions, that it's going to be better and all of that, why do I even get up? Like
Yeah.
for me, I'm like, I'm just gonna stay in bed, and it's not gonna help me, and it's not gonna help others. For me to feel bad, to put myself as a victim, to, and I do it sometimes. Sometimes I need a little kick in the
We
butt.
all have to. We have to. That's part of being human. That's part of also being sane. You'd be insane if you just like, oh, not everything's okay, hunky dory, derpy
Yeah,
derpy derpy derp. It's
definitely.
insanity. Like
Mhm.
it's not okay. Shit's not okay. But
It's
if and what is it? Hold on a second. Gorik says I will keep being active, but it's an extremely uphill battle. If it were easy, first of all, everyone would be doing it if it were easy. Secondly, they wouldn't call it activism. They'd call it, I don't know, chilling out. Like it's not gonna be easy, but god damn it, if it were easy, then then it would be done already if it were
Mhm.
easy. And
Mhm.
no one
And that's why you need good vegan friends. I mean, I know that sometimes I'm gonna feel like, oh, really? This video I want to share, is it really gonna change anything? And then I'm like, oh, but Sky did his live this morning. I gotta do my own thing. You know,
yeah,
like having other people around you, being
totally.
active, doing things, seeing people trying. Like I follow people that inspire me. I don't want to follow people who every day are like, meh, 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 complaining. It's okay. Like we all have bad days, but I'm sorry. I need to follow people who are gonna be like, let's go. Let's keep going, and all,
Yes.
because that's what I need. I need to have motivation and
And that's what the
inspiration.
VFFs were supposed to be. That's why I started this channel, was for exactly
Hmm.
that. So you really make me feel happy about that. And that's how I stay positive, is people like you going like, oh, I'm going to do people like, Mark Sanders. I haven't seen his content for a while, but Mark Sanders over in friggin' Arizona, he did so many cool things. And he does like, I love it when he like does his little food thing and he says, I'm go vegan for your health and then for the planet and for the animals. I love that shit. I love it when he does it. It makes me feel so good when he does that shit because I know that I've been cheerleading him. I'm the one saying, please make more. Every time you do that, it makes me happy. And so
Hmm.
it's got to be reaching other people. And so like that's so important too. Like how often do you think there's someone out there who no one told this has made a difference, this has made me happy, no one said anything, and so that person stopped doing it. And so I want to be one of those VFFs that's out there saying, no, please keep going. Please, you are making a difference, even if it's just, even if I'm the only person who says so, you
Yeah,
know?
and it's it's I've studied history, and it's never one person making a change.
No,
It's always movements. It's
right.
always movements of people, and we need every little person. I'm saying little, but we need each individual to do their own part, because I can't do it all. Sky can't
Yes.
do it all. Nobody can't do it all. It's just not gonna happen. Nobody is Spider-Man, or but we're all a part of a movement, and everybody's gonna do their part, and because of that, a big change is gonna happen at some point. That's always how it happened. Like look at
Yeah.
any influence of the impressionist painters. There was
Mhm.
not one impressionist painter, there was a movement of impressionists. There were,
Absolutely.
it's always like that. How things are spread is through multiple voices, because first of all, we need multiple languages, we need multiple ways of communicating, we need visual, we need everything.
Yep.
um
You're absolutely right. And that's what a movement is, right? It's every I get a lot of people saying, well, why don't you do activism like this? And I go, well, every type of activism that you can think of in your little head is being done. Why aren't you going to legislators? PETA has lobbyists. Like we've got people in legislature trying that too. We're trying everything. Don't
Mhm.
think that because you saw my chicken truck that this is the only thing. How stupid could that possibly? Of course,
Mhm.
PETA doesn't just do chicken trucks, and we're not just out there doing one little type of activism. We're doing all of it, many voices, a symphonic effect. You're playing the triangle, I'm playing the tuba, and today we make a symphony together with the drums
Right.
and the violins and the oboes and the you know
That's what
whatever.
it is, because also that, like, if you feel like this responsibility is on you alone, it's unbearable. Like, you can't, like, I remember talking to Jess at some point when he was the only person that we knew of who was trying to fight the Feathers and
Yeah.
the Jim Henson Company and Feathers in Entertainment. And then once we found Monica and we found Sky and we found other animal rights
Hmm.
activists who were doing their part, we felt like, okay, we don't have to do it all. We can just do this one thing, and other
Yes.
people are going to do the other thing, and we can support them. We can go and sign their petitions that they're doing and all, but we don't have to do everything because we just can't. It's just
Because
no.
you can't play every instrument in the symphony. You can play violin and I can play cello, but I can't play both.
Yeah, and it's interesting
Not at the
because
same time.
yeah, it's interesting because a lot of people think, oh, look at Mark Zuckerberg, or look at Elon Musk or whatever. These people work with hundreds of thousands of
Yes.
people. Jeff Bezos, he works with hundreds of thousands. So it's
Yes.
one person
Steve
that
Jobs had a huge team.
delegates
Right.
millions of actions to other people to do. It's not this one person changing. It's they can't. They're just humans, right? They have an idea and then they have money and then they tell other people, "Let's do this with all my money," right? But it's like,
Yes. Exactly. Let's try to like I listened to this a podcast that I'm thinking a lot about with Sam Altman. It's an interview of Sam Altman on the Daily on whatever. But it's really great. And I can't help but think, okay, well, ChatGPT is not something that one dude thought of, right? It's a huge team. And when they tried to fire him, the whole team was like, no, we're all going to leave if you get rid of him. And they had to bring him back.
mhm.
So it's because it requires a team. He's not alone. He's not by himself. He is part of a larger whole. Let's wrap up. What are you going to do this week, Fanny? How will you be living audaciously this week as a vegan?
What am I gonna do? I don't know yet. I think what I want to do is make a bunch of new comedic videos where I'm probably going to dance and do some stupid moves and wear costumes and research trends to do fun stuff. That's how I'm going to do it, I think.
Awesome. I
Yeah.
think that
What
sounds
about
amazing.
you?
Well, I will be staying in Augusta, which is home of the Masters golf tournament and not much else. I came into the hotel and she's like, I said, "What's to do in this town? I got my days off here." And she's like, "Nothing. Not really much to do here."
You can go
I'm
to the
like,
movie theater. I know you love watching
I'm
movies.
gonna go see the new Japanese Godzilla movie. I want to see that. I've always been a fan of Godzilla,
I
and
love that.
yeah, I always thought it was cool. There's no Star Trek to catch up on, but I'm excited that the new one will come out in April. I'll be preparing also mentally for the fact that I'll be visiting California for for the holidays um
Yay!
for Christmas and New Year's. I'm pretty excited about that.
That's really cool.
Maybe we should do another big Christmas show. What do you think? Should we do a 10-hour Christmas show on Friday? The not Friday, on Christmas Eve?
I don't know if
Maybe.
I can do a 10-hour, but I
No,
can
everyone
maybe
I stay on for
swing
10
by.
hours. Everyone else comes on for like an hour at a time.
I'd be happy to do that. I'd be
Would that
happy
be
to do
fun?
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
If people want to be also a little inspired, I don't know if it's going to be inspiring, but there's a documentary on Facebook on Netflix that has nothing to do with veganism, but it's the uh uprise from Juul, the electronic cigarette, the
Yeah.
vape, the Juul,
Uh-huh.
and it's their descent. And it's interesting to see how they really did a bunch of bad things to people and then they crashed. Because oftentimes we only look at people being a little devil in this world, and we're like, the devil always wins. No, 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 no. And that's a really good example of a pretty devilish company that did not win.
They didn't win. No, we kind of shut them down. But we'll see. What I still see a lot of people vaping out there. Are you? So I mean, I'm pretty excited that I'll be having a couple days off, and then I'm gonna be. If anyone wants to see the chicken truck, I'll be in Georgia. I'll be in this town. What's it called again? Augusta. And then I'll be in a different place soon. I forget the next place, and then I'm going to Florida. So, yeah,
alligators.
Maybe I'll see an alligator. I think that during the winter months they're probably a bit less active, but you're right. Maybe I'll see an alligator. I don't know.
Maybe you'll go to Universal.
I've thought about that. I kind of was actually thinking maybe Karina could come to Orlando, because I will be in Orlando when I leave. I thought maybe instead of me going to California, maybe she can come to Orlando. That would be pretty cool.
Nice. Jess can get you maybe.
Yeah, maybe hook me up with some Universal tickets. That'd be kind of funny. Maybe. But no, I don't really, I don't really like those types of things, and I'd rather be with Karina in California. Plus, she wants to see her family, especially since Mexicans celebrate Christmas on Christmas Eve.
And us, you want to see us?
You celebrate it on Christmas Eve?
Oh no, I said and see us, but
see you guys as well. Yeah, I want to see you guys.
In Belgium, we do celebrate the 24th. We don't celebrate really the 25th.
No, in the United States, it's generally the 25th.
Yeah,
but not everybody, obviously, because Karina celebrates with her family on the 24th and with me on the 25th. That's why I'm thinking maybe we should do the Christmas show on the 24th, Christmas Eve special.
And then we go through the night, and we celebrate the 25th at like midnight. Is that the thing?
I was hoping no. I don't want to be doing that.
Okay, whatever. I was just but people don't have the day off on the 24th. So if you want to have people viewing, I don't know, we should do a poll and people should vote on what date, and then that's how we'll decide.
Yeah, I need to talk to Karina about this too, because I might actually be flying on the 23rd. I'm not really. I might be flying on the 23rd and have the 25th off. Or maybe we should do Kwanzaa the day after Christmas. The 26th, yeah.
Anyway, I don't have a life, so we can do whatever you want. I only have a vegan life and a dog.
Yeah, another Christmas special would be great. Just no controversy this year with PETA.
All right, we'll keep.
Last year was the time when Roger got all mad at me. But whatever.
I remember. I was with you at your house the 27th, right?
That's Scott, true. You came on the 27th. Yeah. And we all got to know 28th, something like that. All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for joining. If you haven't already followed Fannulous, please follow Fannulous on Instagram, YouTube, and
if you're on Fannulous, follow Sky on Vegan.
Yeah, if you're on Fannulous, please follow Sky. There's a few people on both channels right now. We have a couple people on Twitch. If you're on Twitch, please follow on YouTube. That's where we're monetized. And thank you, everybody, for joining. If you're on LinkedIn, let me know, and don't forget to like the stream and visit veganofcourse.net. What? Roger have a problem with someone? No.
Some people have problems with everybody.
I didn't know that back then, but I feel a lot better about it. A year later, I feel a lot better about it. It did hurt very much when it happened, but now I feel quite vindicated. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Fanny Pierre. Sayonara.
It's so hard to not abuse animals.
So hard.
Carnies can fuck themselves. Go fuck themselves.
This is a show for veganism. This is a show for veganism.
Mark, we talked about conspiracy on the pre-shift. All right, everybody. Illegitimate non-carborundum. Don't let the bastards grind you down. I'll see you on Monday for the pre-shift, and everyone will see Fanny on her channels as well.
Bisous,
Bye,
bisous.
everybody. Bisous, bisous.